To start off, would you mind briefly introducing yourself and telling us about your role at CDOT?
I am Kalli Wegren, and I work in our Boulder residency in Region 4. And for the last 2 years, I've been working with Brian Varrella, who is the resident engineer, one of the resident engineers out of Boulder, on our 2D Quick Check statewide initiative research project. And so we've just been wrapping that up in the last couple of months. But it's been a very exciting project to work on so far.
Could you tell us a bit more about your project and how it came to be?
So I think since 2016, Brian Varrella, who used to be the Region 4 hydraulic engineer, used 2D modeling, specifically the Aquaveo SMS software, he used that to do 2D models to help inform project delivery in Region 4. And this resulted in a couple different opportunities, either material cost savings, safety enhancements, or design efficiencies. And he was kind of the one who realized that maybe this process could be done statewide. So he got money from Federal Highway Administration, STIC money, and we even got some CDOT research branch money to test out doing 2D quick checks on a statewide level and to see if we could replicate the savings that were found in Region 4 since 2016. So over the last 2 years, it was Brian Varrella and myself and Brian Campbell down in Region 5, as well as 6 other consultants. And we looked at 86 2D quick checks, and we found $22.4 million in savings just over the last 2 years. So, and those are potential savings. Those are a mix of resiliency savings, material cost savings, and some other stuff. So it was a huge win. And so now we are in the process of trying to figure out how to implement this innovation into the CDOT project process, so that prior to scoping, you could do a 2D quick check, and it will help you value engineer your project at a pre-scoping level, which will be really helpful.
Are there any future innovations you're working to implement?
We are trying to make this part of the project process, and we're working with our partners at headquarters to try and figure out the best avenue for that. We don't want to make this a mandated process. Of course, this technology can't be used on every single project. Since it's more of a hydraulic modeling, you kind of have to have water nearby, some sort of CDOT asset, and also LiDAR available. So it's not applicable for every project, but we're trying to come up with a system now. That's what we're calling phase 2, is how do we actually implement this into the project process and just get people thinking about it, and getting people the resources so they can do these 2D quick checks if they have a qualifying project. One other thing I'd like to plug too is Moeller Engineering put together a GIS library for us. Over our 86 projects that we looked at, we gathered background information such as like as-builts. We also had hydrology, LiDAR information. We had all this information, and so they built us a GIS library that includes points and polygons of CDOT assets and all this information. And then within that information are links to where you can find this in our Google Drive project. We're in the works of finding a more permanent home than Google Drive, but for right now, that's our system. And so we're going to be working on that library as we move forward as well. And we're talking with the DTD and GIS team at headquarters to try and get this on either GeoHub or CPlan, somewhere where everyone can access this information, and we have a process to keep updating it as we continue to do these 2D quick checks.
Why do you feel that innovation is important at CDOT?
This innovation just really allows us to have a better understanding of what's going on in a project, at least hydraulically. And so, again, it will help us. I think the number one thing is it will help us with safety to our traveling public, and also design enhancements and reducing risk to our CDOT assets. And then also savings is a huge one as well, just saving material costs or design costs, just finding those design efficiencies. So I think this is really important for CDOT because we can utilize this technology to make a better project and to have better design and better projects and safer roads.
How do you encourage your team to be more creative and innovative?
This was a great team to work with, just because we kind of started, it was really a research project. And so we really left the door open for different opportunities. And so we had an ongoing list of best practices and tips and tricks just for the technology and for different opportunities. And so it was just really great to see people think outside the box. And I think what was unique about this project is we were all kind of open and learning. And so that was very, I think, key into learning from each other. And it was okay to not have all the answers up front, but also just realizing that we were there to learn, since it was a very explorative project. So I think just having a great team that was willing to be open and share all of our experiences was really key in a lot of the findings and results that we got.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today and sharing your innovation with us.